Today, we're going to talk about a secret weapon in football, a playbook so powerful it lets smaller, less talented teams absolutely steamroll their competition.
I mean, let's be real. This is the question that keeps every underdog coach up at night. You don't have the D1 prospects, you don't have the size, you don't have the lightning speed. So how in the world are you supposed to win? It feels impossible, right? But what if the answer wasn't finding better players, but finding a better system? A system so good, so effective, that one high school team in California put up this number: 880 points in one season. That's a national record, by the way. And believe me, this wasn't some lucky fluke. This was the result of a perfectly designed, brutally efficient machine.
So what is this secret weapon? It's called the double wing offense, and the idea behind it is kind of brilliant in its simplicity. You control the clock, you control the ball, and you are always the more physical team. It's old school smash mouth football. You're just going to grind the other team down, but you do it using a handful of plays that create total chaos for the defense. It's the ultimate equalizer.
Okay, so now that we know what it is, we need to talk about the man who basically perfected this thing and then gave it to the world. And that man is Coach Jerry Vallotton, an educator who became the system's biggest evangelist.
And here's the thing about Vallotton. He wasn't your typical whistle-around-the-neck football guru. The guy had degrees in English and Bible studies. He was an educator through and through. Yeah, he learned the double wing from the guy who invented it, Don Markham, and he coached for 30 years. But he also coached wrestling and became an assistant principal. He really understood that teaching was the most important part of coaching.
All right, so let's get into the nuts and bolts. How does this thing actually work? Well, the genius of it is this totally backwards idea that making things ridiculously simple is actually the best way to confuse and overpower your opponent.
Just look at the difference here. Most modern offenses have these huge, complicated playbooks that really rely on having superstar athletes. The double wing, it's the complete opposite. It's simple, it's physical, and it completely levels the playing field. It's an offense built for the players you actually have, not the ones you wish you had.
So how simple are we talking? Get this. The entire offense, the whole thing, is built on just these 4 plays. That's it. You master the toss, the sweep, the cut, and the cross toss. And here's the magic trick. They all look exactly the same when the ball is snapped. The linemen, the backs, everybody's first 2 steps are identical. For a defense, that creates a split second of hesitation, and in this offense, a split second is all you need to break a huge gain.
The philosophy behind it is what really makes it go. Number 1, simplicity. Number 2, it's all about the team. Just think about it. 10 players have one job: block for the guy with the ball. It's all about pure physicality at the point of attack and using that simple misdirection to mess with the defense's head.
And Vallotton himself, he had 100% faith in this system. He wasn't shy about it either. He famously said, "The magic of the toss has worked every time." I mean, that's the kind of confidence you have when you know your system is the real star of the team.
But winning games is one thing. Vallotton's biggest impact, the thing that made him a legend, was that he wrote it all down. He wrote a book that quietly started a revolution in high school football programs all over the country.
His book was simply called The Toss, but pretty soon, coaches everywhere started calling it the Bible of the double wing. And honestly, that's not an exaggeration. It really is the definitive guide. And when you look inside, you see why. This was so much more than a few X's and O's on a napkin. It broke down the 4 main plays, sure, but it also covered everything else. Adjustments, drills, how to build a team culture, the whole shebang. It was a complete roadmap.
What Vallotton basically did was hand coaches the keys to the kingdom. He gave them a blueprint to build a winning program that wasn't about 5-star recruits. It was about buying into a system. And that gave hope to thousands of coaches at small underdog schools.
So the big question is, does this old school smash mouth football still work today? In our modern era of high-flying, pass-happy offenses? Well, let's take a look at the legacy and see for ourselves.
The numbers kind of speak for themselves, don't they? An unbelievable 80% of the top rushing and scoring leaders across 3 different states came from teams running the double wing. It's not just a cute little offense that works sometimes. It is statistically dominant.
And no, this isn't some stat from the history books. As recently as 2022, you had teams all over California still running this thing and still thriving. They're putting up huge numbers because their principles, well, they're timeless.
You see, Vallotton's legacy goes so far beyond his own win-loss record. He became this sought-after speaker at coaching clinics. He'd go on podcasts, radio shows, always happy to share what he knew. And his book is still guiding coaches at the high school and youth levels today, making sure his influence lives on.
Which really brings us to the final question here. The story of the double wing makes you wonder, and not just about football, but about, well, everything. At the end of the day, what's more important? Raw, God-given talent, or a perfectly designed, perfectly executed system?